सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So, moving along with the aversion therapy of what? Towards what? Towards not yajnas. Towards the lokas desired by the yajnas. Because the yajna is a means. That's why he says, sampatti sa loka praptaye, pantha. Ataha. Pantha means the sadhanam. It's the road. Road means it is the means. Correct? Yeah. Road means mean. And even earlier he said karma marga. So this marga, the road of karma is actually road of karma phala. He says that. So therefore, it's not the aversion therapy to the yajna, but aversion therapy to the finite that is got by what seems to be an infinite set of karmas. What is received is only finite. So the aversion therapy between that cause and consequence. So the cause of the lokas is what? Yajna. How are these glossy brochures of heaven, etc.? They are produced in a certain way, correct? And how are they produced? By sitting in front of the fire in the middle of summer. Tomorrow is summer solstice. Yeah. And so, or today is summer solstice? Yes. Okay. So today is summer solstice. Perfect, we are having this. And he is going to say all that it produces, these kinds of sitting and in the fire in the middle of the heat. He doesn't say middle of the heat, but in India it's hot, hotter, hottest, 3 seasons. And so sitting in the middle on the hottest day of summer, i.e. today, you sit and keep pouring ghee. What is produced is sweat, from the heat of the summer and the yajna, and then tears from the smoke. So all you have is sweat and tears. That's all. You are not going to get lokas. Why? Because you are going to make not one, but many mistakes. Agnihotra, yes, you have to offer in the middle, but for these Darsha and Paurnamasa, they are complicated. Oh, but that's only once in 15 days. Okay, then the new moon is also once in 15 days. Full moon is once in 15 days. So that's once a week. That's yeah, but still that's twice a month, one full moon and one new moon. We can manage that. All right. Then every 4th month you do this. And twice a year you first grow all fresh produce, and then you make delicious things out of the fresh produce. And then you give it away and put half of it, offer it into the fire, and the other half you call all the neighbors and give it away. That's a lot. Why are you doing all this? So that I will be happy when? In the hereafter. Ridiculous. Get up, wake up, and smell the soot of the yajna. This is what the Upanishad is trying to say. There is something, what burns in the yajna. That which burns in the yajna is what? Your own chances of gaining the loka is what combusts in this fire, because it's not going to come, because this is very tricky. It looks very easy. Just like, all these foreign destinations, these cruises. This is very interesting. They won't tell you that 3,999 other people are also going to be with you. They just say, come with us, here is your room. It has ocean view. What other view will it have? One round hole, going through the ocean. And then what? It has ocean view. This is your cabin. And then we have doctors. This is especially for the people who are retired, because they don't go anywhere without doctors. Unless they are married to one. So they go only along with the doctor. So the doctor is on board. In fact, we have a whole pharmacy. We also have an emergency room. Oh, it's starting to look very good. It's wonderful. And then what? You know, world's cuisine, including not so Great Britain. Everything is there. All the cuisines of the world. These are our chefs. They'll have photos also of the chefs. You know, they'll just get different people from ethnicities and make them wear white cap and take photographs. That's all it is. They don't even know how to boil water. But you think these are going to be my chefs on this cruise. And each one is holding out a platter with some flowers and, fruits and everything in it. So you say, oh, morning I can have Vietnamese cuisine. Evening I can have Mexican cuisine. During the day I can just be very light and have Italian, very nice Mediterranean salad, etc. I can have. And then what else? Then we'll stop at the destination. Which? Many destinations. 7. Why 7? Because 7 destinations. 7 destinations. These lokas we'll stop at. And there you can shop to your delight and take photos with famous personages like Indra, etc. You can have it for your album. You can shop. And then we go off from there. And then we go to the second one. First destination, second destination, and then after 7 days we come back, Only that there are 7,000 people in addition to you, that's all, that is omitted. And also that these cruise ships are, already occupied. Already occupied? Yes. By people, by entities that are permanently on cruise. What is that? Marsa Bug, MRSA. What is MRSA? Yeah. It is a antibiotic resistant super virus, super bacteria. Meaning that it has achieved immortality. Does not die. Without Vedanta, if anything can achieve immortality, it is Marsa bug. Yeah. That's why it's called bug. It bugs you inside out. And then also so many others, 7,000 people if you are with, if even half it, 4,000 people if you are with. That's the average strength of a cruise, I'm told. 4,000 people you are with. Somebody is sniffling, somebody is coughing on your plate, somebody is in so many airborne things, full of airborne things. Because with each person who is climbing onto the ship are also ascending millions of teeming bugs, invisible. And then what? One person gets, sick because it's small confines. The rooms, the walls of the room are just glorified cardboard. That's all. It's just thick cardboard. That's the walls of the rooms. And the doors also another piece of slab of cardboard. And then what? They are not going to keep the bugs out. And then everybody falls sick. And then they have to return. And we've heard some horror stories of all these cruises. Still people go because after the horror story, one such horror story read that everybody got a stomach ailment, and all the bathrooms got clogged. What are the people going to do? I mean, I can't imagine anything more nightmarish. Then to turn back also something was not right. It took a little while to go to the nearest port. And then what? Then everybody is sick also. And then the cruise company apologized and said, we are very, very sorry. Kshamasvamam, he said, please forgive me, the CEO said. And for everyone who's had to go through this ordeal, or for all 4,000 of you, get the next coupon to the next cruise free. Then what? But surprisingly, people took it. That means they are wanting to go. After this ordeal, nobody will want, even if you hear the word sea for cruise, you feel like running away. But people are not easily daunted. People who are given to, destinations other than themselves. That's the whole point of this cruise example. people who are cruising on, given to or addicted to destinations other than themselves, you know, are in for a disappointment, because that destination which is sought by something other than you is really what you seek is yourself alone. And if you don't know that, it's a setup for failure, it's a setup for disappointment. You will not get it, it will not go as you want, it will not go as you expected. And if it doesn't, it's fine. If you go to the cruise and you didn't like anything you saw, consider yourself lucky. But if you go to the cruise and fall sick, it is viparita. It is the opposite effect. So this is what Adi Shankara says. This heavenly destination is also a cruise, an otherworldly cruise. In the first cruise you ride on water, this cruise you ride on fire. That's all. Yajna based cruise. That's all it is. Along with the teeming millions of people you will go to, your hope is to go to the glossy heaven, this Svarga, Brahmaloka, described by the same Veda which is describing the way to go there. The circuitous route, and even this simple looking, innocent looking, unsuspecting Agnihotra has many relatives here. Yeah. And it itself is relative. It is not absolute. It has many relatives, all of whom, if they are not propitiated properly, you will not get the result. And so let us, so Yasya Agnihotram, yeah, I think I have explained this, yeah. Lokaha Hinasti Bhashya. यस्य अग्निहोत्रिणः अग्निहोत्रम् अदर्शम् दर्शाख्येन कर्मणा वर्जितम्. Yeah. So it starts off on a bad note. So straight away bad news. Yasya karminah agnihotrinah akarminah agnihotra plus in, the one who has taken to a life of agnihotra. Agnihotrah asya asti iti agnihotrin. So karmin, karminah. Yasya agnihotrinah, for which agnihotri, for which the person who is a karmatha doing agnihotra. Yasya agnihotram, whose agnihotra, whose ritual called agnihotra that was described in the previous mantra, lelayate archi, etc. Adarsham, word from the Shruti, explained as darshakhyena karmana varjitam. Varjitam means vina, devoid of, varjitam, and devoid of with and without always take third case. So therefore karmana varjitam. So devoid of a ritual called akhya darsha. So and we'll see all that later. Just let us understand the bhashya. So yasya agnihotrinah agnihotram, for which agnihotri, whose agnihotra is devoid of the sub ritual called darsha. Adarsham therefore is a compound. Darsham na vidyate yasya adarsham adarshah. Darsham na vidyate yasya adarshah tam adarsham. So varjitam. So now these, so technically we don't need, Agnihotra is a complete ritual in itself, technically speaking. It doesn't need all these what are called satellite rituals of full moon, new moon 4 times a year, and what was the other one? Twice a year. It doesn't need all these. But like I said, Agnihotra does not produce a lot of punya. It has limited punya. Since it has limited punya, you want a booster. A full moon booster called Paurnamasa. New moon booster called Darsha. Twice a year harvest time booster Agrayana. 4 times a year seasonal booster called what? Chaturmasya. These are all boosters. Like you have you go and get a milkshake. You can get a simple milkshake. Milk and some fruits blended together and some sugar they will put. Then they will say, do you want a booster? What is this booster? Some protein powder, some wheat grass juice, something they will boost. We boost what? The smoothie itself is nutritious, yes, but then nutritionally fortified, yes. Now even if you buy rice from the shop, it says first stripped of all the vitamins and then fortified with vitamins, and minerals. You buy milk, and then what? Fortified with vitamins A and D. Crazy. First you strip everything in the process of how it is produced. It is so violent. Unless it's organic, and some of the organic ones also you have to be careful, I think. I have heard. So first you strip everything off it and then you say it is fortified, therefore please buy our brand because it is fortified with vitamins and minerals. So Darsha, Agnihotra is simple plain old milk, and then Darsha, Paurnamasa, etc. for Darsha is fortified with vitamin D, D for Darsha. Paurnamasa fortified with vitamin P. Like this, so many, extra things. It's fortified so that the results are supposedly quicker and more efficacious. So therefore, it's not that they are satellites. It's not that if you do Agnihotra, you have to do Paurnamasa. You don't. But if you don't, nothing will happen. If you do, you get fortified. I mean, why would you drink unfortified milk when you can have fortified milk? That's the idea. So these are the fortifications to make sure that your loka that you want is in the bag. How to put the loka in the bag? Do these extra, extra little not so freebies. You keep following, and then it will fortify the Agnihotra. So that's why it is put, everything is negatively, because the whole thing is negative. It's not positive. Why? Because the effect of it is just a big zero at the end. So that's why it starts with negation. Yasya Agnihotram Adarsham, without darsha. Here we are not talking of the Agnihotri, the one who is doing it. We are talking of the ritual itself. For the ritualistic one, for the ritualist whose ritual is devoid of the new moon thing called darsha, the new moon appendage, not quite an appendage but like that, a new moon fortification called darsha. And what is that new moon fortification? Again, devatas are invoked, yajna is done on new moon day. Why? Because the new moon and full moon, because the moon controls the mind. And so the new moon and the full moon are times when the mind can go awry. New moon, people feel a little down. And then full moon, people feel kind of ecstatic. That's why it's called lunatic, luna, yeah. And so, and especially, people in the institutions, the people who are taking care of the institutions for people with mental health issues are always, you will find, at least in India, there is a calendar and the full moon day is marked in a big circle. So that everybody has a meeting about it. Everybody knows on that day they will have extra staff present. Because that is the day for sudden ecstasy, which leads to sudden debilitating feelings of suicide, etc. That is the day something gets destroyed. That is the day the inmates can get into a fight with each other. That is the day somebody can get hurt. That's why they mark that date. I don't know if they do it here, but they mark that date. Here also they do it? Yeah. That itself goes to show that these are vulnerable times where the mind can go off track. Even if you are a sensible person with good self-esteem, watch out on new moon and full moon day. Suddenly, without reason, this feeling comes. And therefore, the fortification, get into extra yajna mode. And do you think you get the day off for doing Agnihotra twice a day on those days? No. That day you are doing 3 yajnas. Agnihotra A in the morning, Agnihotra B in the evening, like Medicare, part A, part B, plus Darsha or Paurnamasa every 15 days. This is how it happens. And so, Adarsham, Darsham, Navidyate yasya, Darshaha, Navidyate yasya, Adarshaha, meaning, Adarsha doesn't mean invisible here, Darsha is a specific technical name for the ritual. So, for the one whose ritual called Agnihotra is devoid of Darsha, and then further, अग्निहोत्रिणः अवश्यकर्तव्यात् दर्शस्य meaning any Agnihotri in the right mind will do this, will do Darsha, has to do Darsha. It is the main karma is Agnihotra. So if after taking the trouble to do every Agnihotra every day for the rest of their lives, why will they not do Darsha? This is the fortification after all. So Avashya Kartavyatvat means it has to be done due to the person feeling that I need to do this karma. So and then Agnihotra Sambandhi Agnihotra Visheshanam Iva Bhavati. I have already explained this. So anything connected to Agnihotra fortifies this further. So it is as though like a satellite, like after every meal, what should you have? Dessert. Yeah. After every meal, you should have dessert. Correct? So the Anga is the meal. And the Angi is the meal. And the Anga, the satellite, accoutrement which you need to be equipped to make the food much more effective is the dessert. So Darsha is the dessert. Correct? That's what he's saying. So there is no reason to not have dessert. Why would they be? I mean, who in their right mind will not have dessert? Everybody should have dessert after every meal. So therefore, there is no reason to, because it is pleasant. So too, the Darsha may not be pleasant, but the effect of Darsha is supposed to be pleasant. So everybody tops it off. It's like having pan. People have this horrible habit in India. Some lime, not lime as in lemon lime, another that wall lime, that chemical lime, and then this thing called betel leaf, which is a creeper, which has got a kind of a pungent leaf, and then betel nut, which is an astringent nut, and this nut chews on it. Which nut? Yeah. The nutty fellow, even in English, nutty. And then the interaction of this betel leaf and this lime creates copious amounts of bright red saliva, and it's an addiction. And people spit it all over the place. Never mind. So, but it is after every meal, this fellow will head to the kiosk where this thing is sold, and that fellow will make it with he will put lime and everything. And in places like Varanasi, this pan ranges, it's called pan, and it ranges from, you can buy it for 1 rupee, simple one, and then to thousands of rupees. They put gold and ingestible forms of gold, silver, ingestible forms of all kinds of things, I was about to say mercury, but that doesn't sound right, So they put all kinds of ingestible forms of something or the other, and this person keeps, buying and eating. After every meal, the men in the village head to this kiosk. It's the most unsightly thing, horrible. And then they come with this, it's like chewing gum with a vengeance. And and you keep chewing, and the more you chew, the more of this red spit is created. And then, of course, they will spit wherever it says. There is a board saying please don't spit, and you cannot read the board after a few things because they have spat all over it. But anyway, so the whole idea was pan. So just like the pan is seen as an invariable accompaniment to every meal, which is pleasant for them, if not for others, and so therefore this darsha is seen as an invariable accoutrement, an accompaniment to every Agnihotra. So therefore there is no reason not to do it, and anybody in their right mind will do it. And then what? Tad akriyamanam ityetat. So adarsham means tad akriyamanam, means that which is not done. So adarsha means that which is not done. Tatha Paurnamasam Apaurnamasam Ityadishu Api Agnihotra Visheshanatvam Drashtavyam Agnihotra Visheshanatvam Drashtavyam. Yeah. Drashtavyam, to be seen, must be seen. Tavya. And then what must be seen? Apaurnamasam tatha. In the same manner, when you say apaurnamasam, it is not qualifying the person, it's qualifying the ritual which is devoid of, the one who has not done this Paurnamasa along with it. So it's devoid, the one whose Agnihotra is devoid of this ritual called full moon ritual. So Ityadishu api, so Apaurnamasam and what else? Achaturmasyam, etc. All that are related. Agnihotra Visheshanatvam Drashtavyam. They are to be seen as boosting or fortifying the effects of Agnihotra. Very simple, Agnihotra Angatvasya Avishishtatvat. Yeah. So there is no anga, there is no anga here for Agnihotra. Agnihotra is not an anga for which there are angis, is not a main karma like the planet Earth for which there is a satellite called moon. No, it's not, that is not there. Avisheshatvat, because there is not anything mentioned. But other yajnas, like you do Rajasuya. What is Rajasuya yajna? World domination. Yeah, only Indra has done it. That's why he is on top. And Rajasuya yajna, you have to do so many angas and so many satellite rituals are there. Here Avisheshatvat, there is no specific satellite mentioned, but these two are related. So Angamiva, he says. It's got the significance of the anga without really being the anga. Yeah, without being a satellite, it has to be understood that angatvasya, avishishtatvat. So since it is not mentioned, since this is mentioned, so not being, anangasya, anga is common for all. There is no karma that is mentioned, and so therefore these are not satellite rituals, but they are done to fortify the effect of this. Okay. Apaurnamasam Paurnamasa karma varjitam. Yeah, very simple, Paurnamasa is a karma, a ritual. Varjitam means devoid of. Paurnamasa masakhya karmana varjitam. So that which is called Paurnamasa, the full moon ritual, is not there for whose Agnihotra. That is what it is called. Yeah. Achaturmasyam Chaturmasya Karma varjitam. Yeah. So Chaturmasya means what? Every 3 months, 4 times a year, there is one karma, varjitam, devoid of that. So one whose Agnihotra is devoid of new moon ritual, full moon ritual, 4 times a year ritual. Anagrayanam,
Anagrayanam,
Agrayanam,
Agrayanam,
Sharadadi,
Sharadadi,
Kartavyam,
Kartavyam,
Taccha,
Taccha,
न क्रियते
Na Kriyate,
यस्य.
Yasya,
So then chatur anagrayanam is explained. Sharadadi, Sharada means autumn. Vasanta is included, Adipadat. So during spring and autumn we have 2 crops. Yeah, Rabi and Kharif crops. This is what is the Mughal names for them. So these crops you don't just harvest and sit down like a glutton to eat. They have to be offered to Bhagavan from whom all the crops have come. If you don't do that, the belief is that Bhagavan will crop your punya. That is what will happen. And so you have to offer it. And you can't just sort of lay the grains in front of Bhagavan. That means you're not doing any effort, you know. So you have to hand winnow them, dehusk them. And then you have to do whatever it is, you know, pound them, powder them, cook them, etc. And make sweet balls with jaggery, all kinds of things, rice, jaggery, laddus, and then dal, also you make laddus, besan laddus, all these things. Besan is this chickpea flour. Really nice laddus you can make, all kinds of things you can make, yeah. Don't start making, I'm just telling, yeah. So, she was getting ideas. So, quickly I had to intervene. So, so you can make all these things, you know. So, so then this chickpea flour, you know, roasted in nice hot ghee and then made into sugar syrup and then made into nice balls and then eaten when one has nothing to do. Sounds wonderful, correct? Yeah. So all these balls of various kinds, and sweet balls and, you know, rice, savory dishes and rice dishes, you make a lot of it because you are so thankful that the crops have come, and you are so thankful to Lord of Rain, Varuna, who has been kind, not overly kind as to make a deluge and not unkind as to make a drought. And this right, Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha, may the rains come on time. I mean, I always say it, you know, what is that? Say it with a little hesitation in Eugene, you know, but so may the rains come on time. It's raining all the time. So anyway, so this is what it is. So you are so grateful, and you see the connection between yourself and the seasons are nothing but the manifestation of Bhagavan, of Ishvara, which is really the truth of you. So you see Ishvara in the form of the law that has allowed these crops to be produced, that has allowed you to have a profit. And so all those are first offered and then they are distributed to the poor. Yeah, you go and call everybody who's never had a laddu in their life and you give it away. You give it away. And then what? You just, this is what is done twice a year with a spring crop, because different kinds of things grow in spring, and then with a fall crop. This comes around Deepavali, November, October and November, and then the spring one comes around the spring Navaratri, Aprilish, and late March, early April, and that is when you are, the busiest. First you have to spring clean, and then you have to harvest and stow away the crops, and then you have to make something and offer it to Bhagavan, and then give it all away. Because the idea is the more you give, the more comes to you. It's always the truth, really. So this is how the whole thing proceeds. So this is what is called Agrayanam, and then Manusmriti says something about it. What does it say? Nutana annena sharadadi vasante cha kartavyaha. Manusmriti says, Nutana annena, with a new rice, Nutana means new. Yeah. Tana is a specific suffix. Adyatana. It confines the time which is specified in the substantive, the suffix. Adyatana, belonging to today, like that. Adyatana, adhunatana, nutana. That is the particular suffix that confines the thing to this day. So, to this time. So, nutana means newly harvested, belonging to that which is new. So, nutana annena, nutana annena, with the new rice. What do you have to do? Sharadi vasante cha, Sharadi in the autumn, Vasante in the spring cha, Agrayanam kartavyaha. So Agrayanam has to be done. This Agrayana is the large, great offering of newly harvested crop. Nakriyate yasya means for whom? For whose first ritual, that simple ritual of 2 offerings, is devoid of this kind of a giving of the new crop. Tatha atithi varjitam cha atithi pujanam cha ahani kriyamanam yasya. Yeah, so swayam, little more. Swayam samyak agnihotra kale ahutam. Yeah, so now 2 things. One is atithi varjanam. Atithi varjam. Each thing is taken in detail. Atithi varjitam means, a yajna is not successful unless someone who is unknown to you, an unknown guest, comes to the house and is asked to partake of the meal that you have cooked. An unknown guest and an unknown guest in need, both. It used to be the practice of people to go out of their house, look to the left, look to the right. Anybody there? Please come to eat. You just give an invitation on the road. And then, you feed whoever comes, is received with great happiness. It's a very beautiful ritual actually. And they are treated like the cream of the cat and the cat's cream, and they are worshipped, and worshipfully they are offered diksha, annam, food, till they say enough, I cannot eat anymore. And then you sit down to eat. That's how it is. Very nice way, you kind of, through all this, even though you have cooked all these delicious laddus, you defer the enjoyment. And there is a certain self-growth in delayed gratification. This is what the psychologists are telling even today. That learn to be parents in a way that you delay the gratification of the child. If it asks for something right now, you say, this is what in the older generation. No, not right now, you can have it for your next birthday. Delayed gratification. And that allows the child to grow into a well-adjusted adult simply because you cannot have everything that you want all the time. In fact, as experience will show, you cannot have anything that you want at any time. This is the truth. And how is the child going to learn it? You cannot live life by wanting and having things that you like. You have to learn to like the things that you already have. That is the growth. And the more one learns to like what one has, one learns to, be well adjusted in the society, in the community. Even if one doesn't want this knowledge, one has a certain sanity. And that is achieved through delayed gratification. And here the person who has woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning, done 1 round of Agnihotra, and perhaps it was full moon, done Paurnamasa, and then cooked also. Cooked and is ready to fall upon the food, and enjoy it. Oh, everything is done, let's enjoy. No, there is one more thing. Offer what you have eaten, what you have cooked, to someone else other than yourself, and see in them a manifestation of Ishvara. Ishvara himself, herself has come to your house. Like that you see, you feed them, and then what is left over you take. There is a certain humility in that, and you're always kept in the right attitude. And so this guest seva, is just very nice. It's very nice. And that's how, unfortunately, it has the flip side. That's how we got colonized. Because anybody who came, oh, please, aa jao, kha jao, we kept saying, yeah, please come, please eat. And then they ate us out of treasury and home. Literally, that's how it was. Because when the English came, when the Mughals came, we never said, please don't go away. No. The Jews came and they said, oh, they were given land. In fact, when I went to the Israel, they were thanking us. They said this is the only country where the Jews have not been troubled, tortured, killed, is India. When the Jews went, they were given land right next to the temple. Even now you see synagogues there. The first one was outskirts of Bombay in the 16th century. Still there, that synagogue. I mean, some of it was old, it has to be fortified, refurbished, but it is still there. And so, this is how it was. So the Persians came, they didn't bring us any carpets, and still we gave them land and everything. And then they took over because it is aggressive theologies. That's what it is, not the religion, it's how the theology is interpreted. You conquer the people who are not like you, and either you make them like you or you kill them. That's all it was. Very troublesome. And so, this is coming from this not understanding this Atithi Puja properly. Atithi Puja doesn't say that whoever comes to take away everything, allow them. But that was just this was a mild set of people in those times. They did not know. And how to defend themselves in a way, because if these things are not properly understood, you become a target for being exploited. Your door is always open. Anyone who drops in is a manifestation of Ishvara. That means what? Then you have to go out with a begging bowl. That's not the idea. This is about developing healthy boundaries. This is part of the whole idea, is to develop healthy boundaries. That's why you don't invite hordes of people in. One guest, Atithi, singular. Yeah, you don't invite the whole town, come and eat. What are you going to do? You will have to go to the soup kitchen. Yeah. So, therefore, it's always one guest. You see, this is how you develop healthy boundaries. One guest you reverentially invite and say, please, today I have made this, you eat this. Please eat. And then I will eat it, And it's not like you are worried about what the food contains. And so like Cleopatra had a taster, an official taster. And apparently, I have never understood this. If anybody knows, tell me why. Her favorite food was freshwater pearls in aspic. First of all, what is aspic?
Like gelatin.
It's a gelatin that...
Okay, so she had pearls in aspic. And this poor taster, because she was always afraid of, jelly with pearls in it, that's all. So, pearl-studded jelly, okay? So, this is what she had every day for dessert. Maybe there was some agave sweetener, grows in Egypt. So anyway, maybe there was some sweetener also, we don't know. So the poor taster, this is all Kim Vadanti, means this is all just a story. I don't know to what extent it is true. This poor taster used to always have, gastrointestinal trouble because he was having so many pearls all the time. Because she was afraid of being poisoned. So she said, here, you have a sip of it. You have a bite of it. Then only give it to me. And the taster would make this kind of a face. All right. This is my job. This is not the Atithi Puja. She was not doing Atithi Puja. Even though she was having him taste it first. No. That was out of her own fear. Here Atithi Puja is so that you eat what is left over. That is the whole idea. You eat that which has been blessed. And if someone says, oh, this is the very good food, thank you so much, and that means that they have good ideas and thoughts about you, they will always bless you, and their prayers go a long way in fortifying the Agnihotra that you have done with vitamin D. Yeah, so vitamin A, Atithi. Yes, so with vitamin A, so that means you get more punya, that's the idea. So Atithi Puja. And in fact, only one thing is mentioned. See how slowly it is becoming more and more and more and more? Yeah. Only one thing is mentioned. What is that one thing? Atithi Puja. Atithi Puja by itself cannot be done. But, yes. What do you mean? It is a part of a smokeless, fireless yajna called Pancha Maha Yajna. What is this now? Well, how much time we got? 20 minutes? Okay. So, all this so sweetly we talked about the importance of offering to a guest, gaining inner maturity is part of a smokeless, fireless, five-fold yajna, Mahayajna. Yajna here means sacrifice, 5 forms of sacrifice. Here the sacrifice is the deferment of food, right? This is very clear. You share your food, you defer the food, before you eat, you feed someone else. All right. But the other 4 sacrifices, yeah, you do the same with regard to the bhutas, the elements. You propitiate Bhagavan in form of the elements, meaning ecologically you live according to the rules of Bhumi project. You live according to the rules of how, that recognize and rejoice in the symbiotic connection between humans and nature. That there is a lot of give and take. You water the plant, and then the plant waters and quenches your hunger and thirst. So there is this kind of a symbiosis. Therefore, you make sure that the soil in which the plant grows is devoid of pesticides and chemicals, etc. That is a Mahayajna. For this one example of the Bhuta Yajna. Then you have Deva Yajna. Then you propitiate the Bhagavans in the form of all the various celestials, the laws, the various laws, the law of karma, the law of dharma, etc. Various incarnations of all these manifestations of Ishvara you propitiate. Deva Yajna, Pitru Yajna. You gain the blessings of the ancestors who have departed before you, and you pray that they show you, the grandfather, great-grandfather, grandmother, great-grandmother, 3 generations. You take their blessings before you embark on something good in your life. How many is that? The 3. Atithi Yajna, and then Brahma Yajna. Brahma Yajna is almost like an Atma Yajna. Yourself, Brahman. That truth which makes all the universe go round and makes the universe come alive, that the creator of the universe is acknowledged. So the propitiation is not because they'll get angry, even though the word propitiate is used. It's an acknowledgement that I am, because of all these forces, I stand on the backs of all these entities. I cannot be here without the ancestors. So therefore, the ancestors get a portion of my credit. I cannot be here without the blessings of the guest. The guest helps me to be in line with my own cooking, with my own eating, with my own, there is a certain modesty there. The guest helps me to bring out the atithyam, what is that called? The hospitality and modesty. I grow in humility. So the guest is revered, and so the credit goes to the guest. I am a product of the 5 elements. The same water with which I water the plant is running, is gallons of blood in my body. So there is that, again, that oneness. So the credit of what I am today, goes to the 5 elements. The credit of what I am today goes to all the devas, the celestial forces that are in the form of the ears that hear, the eyes that see, which are blessed by all these forces. The credit of what I am goes to all these people. So the 5-fold credit acknowledgement is part of this Atithi Puja. You acknowledge the credit. The whole thing. You know how after the movie you have credits? Yeah, this is in the movie of the person's jiva's life. You have credits every day. Meaning what? You discredit the ahankara. There is no chance for the ahankara to say, I did it, I cooked. Even if to the atithi you say, I cooked, eat now, tell me how it is, I have done the cooking. Immediately that I has already been sublated by doing bhuta yajna. The fire cooked, you didn't cook. The air helped the fire come under the pan that you are putting. You did, who are you? The grains were cooked by water, first by the earth. Earth cooked the grains. She made them into what, in the form that you can put it there. And the rice you took from the earth and you say, I made it. And then the rice you put in water. Water also is an element. And that the cooking actually took place, because sometimes it doesn't. That law which says that the mixture of the rice, water and the heat, proportion has to be okay. And that law that says actually the gas will not go out. That law that makes it happen. That itself is Bhagavan, Adi Bhautikam. With regard to, the elements, centered on the elements, there are many blessings. Centered on myself, the doer, there are many blessings. The doer, enjoyer, the truth of myself, everything, there are blessings. Centered on the devas, there are many blessings. And the person who acknowledges this blessing in a fivefold way is called Panchamaha Yaji. The one who is sacrifice means what? So you just give up something to acknowledge that. That's all. You give something to. It's a ritualistic acknowledgement. So you see, quietly the Upanishads mentions the one without Atithi Yajna, but Atithi Yajna itself is part of a 5-pack, of vitamins and minerals which are going to fortify this Agnihotra even more. So you have to be a Panchamaha, Yajamanaha, the one who is doing these fivefold acknowledgement ritualistically. Swayam samyag agnihotra kale ahutam. Ahutam means what? Not done. Not done, ahutam. Adarshadi. That is the next one. Yeah. So, Swayam Samyag Agnihotra Kale Samyag Ahutam. The Ahutam has to go with Samyak. Agnihotra Kale Ahutam means what? Here Ahuta is the negation. Alparthe Nanj. Alparthe means what? Not enough. So you skimp on the ghee. Ahutam. Instead of using a full, cup, use 3/4, because that way you don't have to go shopping for another day. You can procrastinate the shopping. So if I use 3/4, then even for the evening it will remain. Yeah. When the Dakshinamurti came to Eugene, that time I said, feed the fellow properly. That is what it is. Yeah, you can't just sort of, you can't. That's why all these rules are given for building temples. You can't have a 6-foot, icon that represents Ishvara. Who is this Ishvara? Basketball player. Huge, And then you give 2 raisins, Not even enough for 1 molar in the bag. No. That icon, before it is consecrated, is weighed. Yes. Dakshinamurti was already also weighed before he went on the FedEx ship. 100 kilos, 1 ton he weighs. 100 kilos is a lot, correct? Yeah. The one in Sailorsburg. Yeah. That's a lot of kilos. So 100 kilos means there is a certain kind of a, what's its name? Measurement, proportion of how much is to be offered. This is all symbolic. It's not that the stone is eating. No, this is Bhagavan. Ishvara is being invoked with the help of a medium. and that medium is treated as real, and the medium is seen as a medium where the offerings are accepted. That's all it is. So here, ahutam, skimping, I'll use 9/10 cup, not full cup. And ahutam also means not done. One day didn't feel like getting up. One day genuinely had fever. Not make believe fever, real fever. Not the fever at the thought of getting up, but fever literally upon getting up. One had fever. So what to do? You don't do Agnihotra. Oh, the Veda is so kind. Yes, it is very kind. It says you are exempt as long as you are sick. You please take rest. Don't do Agnihotra with fever, cold, all these things. Take rest, go to bed. Don't do this. You are freed of all Nitya Karma for the time that you are sick. Ah, thank God. That is very nice. Now this is not looking too bad, is it? Well, ... What is the ... You have to do Prayaschchitta. What is Prayaschchitta? Makeup. Oh, makeup? No, not that makeup. This is also called makeup because it makes up for all the big craters that are there. So that is literally makeup. What do you make up? You make up for the omission of not having done it for 4 days when you were sick. So you make up. How do you make up? There is a whole list of rules which I'd rather not get into. You just get the idea. Meaning the workload is not, you can't catch up after 4 days and just do Agnihotra. No. You have the backlog of the other 3 days which you have to make up for through more dana, more dharma, more dharmic actions, more things in other ways. To put it differently, you acknowledge that you have missed it for 3 days. Now it is not sounding, the 3 days off is not sounding very good, is it? No. Because what's the point if you have to make up, let me be sick and do Agnihotra. That is the idea. So this is sounding very, very complicated now. And so, tatha atithi pujanam cha ahani day by day akriyamanam yasya swayam samyak agnihotra kale ahutam, alparthe abhave. Alparthe means you skimp on the ghee. Abhave means you don't do it at all. So that is what it is. So both the things. And then what? Adarshaadivat avaishvadevam vaishvadeva karma varjitam. Yeah. So Vishve Deva. There are certain devas called Vishve Deva. Who are these Vishve Devas? Kind of Dig Devata like. There are 10 of them or 8 of them. I think 10. Let's see what Gambhirananda has to say. Just like Adarsha, Avaishvadevam, Vaishvadeva, right, remains. He tells you how to do, thanks to Anandagiri. So he says the 3 sacrifices, sacrifices are performed in the beginning of the 4, that is Chaturmasyam, 4 months. No, that's the different one. Let's see here. Avaishvadevam, that means in which the Vaishvadeva rite remains accomplished. Yeah. Avaishvadevam, that's all he says. He doesn't say what Avaishvadevam means. Let's see if. Yes, 10 devas, correct. So 10 kinds of forces connected with directions and other things that multiply into 10 are called Vishve Deva. Vishve Deva Upasate. So this is what is a part and parcel of what? Agnihotra, because it fortifies the Agnihotra, even though it's not, even though it is recommended, it is seen as invariably linked with the Agnihotra. So Avaishvadevam means what? Not where the directions, we have forgotten to propitiate the directions. Yeah. Achaturmasyam, did we read? Or did what happened to that? Yeah. Chaturmasya Varjitam. Yeah. So there are 3 sacrifices 4 times a year. That is the Achaturmasya. That is what Anandagiri tells us how to do Chaturmasya. If in case anyone is wondering, I'll read that even though it went by. The 3 sacrifices performed at the beginning of each of the 4 seasons. Yeah. And then it says Shakhamedha it is called, and Varuna Praghashah. Yeah. So this is, and also Vaishvadeva has two other segments called, yeah, Varuna Praghashah and Praghasah and Shakhamedha. Never mind what they are. I myself don't know, and let us not worry about it. So anyway, so some other rituals, and that increase the efficacy of this one. And then what? Avidhina hutam.
Avidhina hutam.
Yeah. Huyamanamapi.
Huyamanamapi.
Avidhina hutam.
Avidhina hutam.
Nayatha hutam.
Nayatha hutam.
Ityevat.
Ityevat.
Ityetat.
Ityetat.
Yeah. Huyamanamapi. Even though the fellow is performing it, impure mantras, wrong swaras, wrong chanting, wrong ideas, wrong thoughts, thinking of robbing a bank while offering. These are the ways, avidhina, offering the wrong things, offering in the wrong, list, not according to the list, offering number 10 before number 2, number 3, like that. So, wrong ideas, the one who has, that is the person, and impure mantras, etc. is called avidhina hutam, na yatha hutam. Yatha hutam means, huta vidhihi anatikramya. Yeah. Not crossing the vidhi, not crossing the hutam. Hutam anatikramya. Yatha hutam. Not crossing how it is, the prescribed way of doing it is called yatha hutam. Then you negate that. Very nice in Sanskrit. Ayatha hutam means not doing it as it is supposed to be, as it was not supposed to be done, meaning doing it as it was not supposed to be done. Say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it. All right. So we'll have to stop here, although I was hoping to finish it. This itself shows how involved this is. And by this time, if you're not bored of Agnihotra, there are a few more lines which we will, accomplish this tomorrow. What will be accomplished tomorrow? All of us will be thoroughly sick of Agnihotra, not wanting to do it at all. That means the Upanishad has been successful in her aversion therapy. Okay? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnamevavashishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Weekly classes, monthly classes, you can ask questions. So, if there are any questions, no.
There's people saying Kate, Laurie,
Okay, wonderful. Namaha.
Vivian saying thank you.